Damn.
Hey, recording in progress.
He started the recording right when you announced that your hands are sticky.
Very nice. Hold on.
Unsticky yourself.
Yes.
I'm going to unsticky myself, but I'm not going to eat any more of those during the recording.
Just lick your hands clean. It's fine.
No, because they'll still be sticky.
There was one time we were all working really, really hard, and everybody was just sweating because it was hot and work was hard. And I was like, well, good thing shower day is next week.
All right.
Collin, are you ready to roll?
Yes.
So we, mostly me, decided to start off on a more interesting note, a fun note, an interrogation of sorts. So, hi, I'm one of your co-hosts, Spencer, joined by Jacob. And we are joined by our other co-host, but he's not here to co-host, Collin.
Hello.
Say hi.
He's our special guest.
I am the special boy.
He's definitely special. Collin is a guest for the next 10 minutes because Collin recently finished a project, and we wanted to interview him about it and share it and jerk him off and meme and cream and so on. So, Collin, why don't you tell us what your book is, give us like a pitch and a light synopsis.
My comic book is The Space Adventure Clutching Godhood Part 1. It is Part 1 of a 12-issue series, hopefully 12-issue series, about a skeleton named Osius who believes that he can reclaim his humanity through slaying the demigods of his universe. And in this first issue, he goes through the castle of the Borgra, the demigod of the All-Knowing, and he fights demi-mortals as well as Saluem the Emblazoned, the Borgra's war chief, and finally gets to have counsel with the all-knowing Borgra by the end of the issue. And that's kind of where it lifts you off into the story. You get a little taste of Osius's ruthlessness, doesn't care for things other than his own task at hand.
Damn, lifts you off like into space where there's an adventure?
Yes.
I've been waiting to use that one for 4 years.
That's rough.
So we've all read the book. Obviously, we're friends. We have secret knowledge, but for our audience, just want to kind of do it like the groundwork of a normal interview for this type of industry thing. So what got you into comics? Was there anyone in particular in your life? Did you just randomly pick up a book at a store? What makes you interested in the medium?
As long as I can remember, ever since I was probably 8, I always wanted to do comic books. I always wanted to write and draw comic books. And I was always surrounded by superhero stuff growing up, but what really got me into starting off with the classics was my Uncle Joe. My Uncle Joe got me comics pretty much every year for birthday or Christmas, or just whenever he found some cool ones that he thought I would like. There's a page dedicated to my Uncle Joe. This issue is dedicated to my late Uncle Joe because he had recently passed away, and he is a huge reason why I am into comics as much as I am.
Do you just want me to ask all the questions?
I am here. I'm helping.
Okay, you're here for moral support.
What made you create a story in space? What is the importance of it being set in space and chasing down gods? What started these ideas that got you to make this story?
So it first started out as how to explain it? What made me do the first 3 panels of my test comic, which has only barely seen the light of day because of Instagram and such.
I've seen it.
Yep. I was working on business cards in high school, And so I drew the skeleton dude, and I was like, you know what? These 3 panels, this first one looks cool, but I'm just going to turn it into like a 3-panel story. And then it was just supposed to be that, like this skeleton who's in space, he's shaking. Why is he shaking? And then the last panel, you see his flashlight falls, and there's this ominous being in the dark. And the idea of ominous beings in the dark and outer gods have always intrigued me, and so I kept making more panels. It was like a 3-panel, 3-page thing, and that set off for like, oh, what am I going to do with this? And I wanted to do like a bounty hunter in space type of thing, because this is when The Mandalorian just came out when I was in high school, and it really inspired me to do that. But then as time went on and my taste changed, and I didn't want to every idea I used, I was just basically copying someone else's work. So I opted to take a step back and really dive into this weird horror, occult horror in space type of thing.
Cool. So what sort of so you mentioned The Mandalorian. What other sorts of influences are at play here? You know, TV, movies, other comics, other artists, you know?
So The Mandalorian is no longer an inspiration for this. It's strayed away so far from that. At this point, the inspirations are more of like, obviously, Mike Mignola, Hellboy, that's always a huge thing. I always say that whenever I talk to people. Mike Mignola, Hellboy, you got Berserk, Kenzo Mira, you got, I can't find him now. I'm going to change my answer because I can't remember what it is. It's probably We Fell in Love in October. October Passed Me By, Girl in Red.
I like Girl in Red unironically.
Yeah, I was into that one for a while, and then I got out of that, and now I'm back. I've been back into metal for like years now. That album came out in like 2018.
Final, very important question. What's with all the frogs? What's with all the frogs in this book?
Frogs can always be depicted as like ominous creatures or something that's like out of place. One obvious connection to it is Mike Mignola loved putting frogs in Hellboy, which Hellboy was the first book that like I really got into, the first trade. So but the frogs are like slimy, and they can be off-putting. Or another connection could be from like Naruto. There's this like giant toad weird creature that was like, I don't even know how to explain this concept from Naruto anymore. I haven't seen Naruto in forever, but toads are cool. Toads are weird. They're off-putting sometimes, but then sometimes they're like nice. So you could, it's if the right lack for better words would be like multifaceted, I guess. You can do a lot with toads.
So I have a request that you don't have to honor.
Okay, I probably won't.
But in one of the future issues, could you maybe consider putting a frog and a toad next to each other and put them like on a log or something? So we have Frog and Toad like the children's books?
That might happen.
Nice.
I'm sorry. I was not privy to the last important question. He didn't consult me. Where do you see the series going? Like, what are a couple story beats, or like just a general arc? You don't have to get into specifics, but
yeah, no
you said
spoilers.
Hopefully 12 issues. So what do you think is going to happen?
So what I do want everyone to know is that I want this comic to be like my lifelong, like my Berserk, like my lifelong like thing. And the 12 issues is the first arc, at least planned as of now. And I want to do more than just one stretch of 12 issues. But for concepts within the 12 issues, what you can see is what I hope to be a different way of looking at traveling through space. yes, it's a space adventure, but I wouldn't say it's your typical way of traveling.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any outlets or people that you want to plug before we say sayonara?
Like my outlets or like my
Yeah. Is there anyone you want to thank? Anybody that did any additional work on the book? Where can people find it? The whole gambit.
The alternate cover in the back of the book, maybe.
I want to shout out Jeff Lawrence for the amazing pinup cover he did of Osius for this issue. He's Jeff Lawrence Arts at Gmail or at wow. He's Jeff Lawrence Arts on his Instagram and I think his Twitter. He doesn't do Twitter a lot. He's an old man. He's older than I am. He's Instagram baby. Yeah, so shout out to Jeff Lawrence for that. That was fucking fantastic. As stupid as it sounds, I want to shout out Daniel Warren Johnson because that was another inspiration. Damn, I forgot about that. But I'm shouting him out now because without Daniel Warren Johnson inspiring me, like in an actual face-to-face conversation, telling me that I need to get this book, like I need to do this book, and giving me the confidence to keep pushing through all the bullshit and the struggle with creating a comic. So shout out to Daniel Warren Johnson. Everyone knows where he is. And my links are Melancholy _Gray on Instagram and Twitter, and also on Patreon.
AY or EY?
AY.
And where can people find this this book?
You can find this book at you can read it digitally through my Patreon, through the $5 tier All Knowing Toad. You can buy it at Jetpack Comics in Rochester, New Hampshire. You can buy it at Stairway to Heaven, Newington, New Hampshire, or is that Maine?
Newington, New Hampshire.
You can find the Space Adventure at Newington, New Hampshire. You can also find the comic at Comics and Coffee in Deep River, Connecticut. And if you have any way of contacting me or sending me death threats, you can buy it straight from me.
Yeah, I was going to say, can people just DM you or send you an email?
Mayhaps. I am terrible at mailing, so good luck with that. Come drive to me.
I know your IP address.
That's also true.
I will get this comic.
Damn.
Yes. I think that's about it on our end. Do you have any further thoughts?
Read more comics, buy more comics, create more comics.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, thanks for your time, buddy. At least for myself, I can say that I'm very proud of you for finally finishing this. I've been watching the struggle behind the scenes on this one for like 6 years now.
Dude, it's been since like junior year of high school when I really wanted to like start making the 2 comics. That turned into really just 1. So yes, thank you for your support.
It's done.
I love you guys.